All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the We Book It podcast. This is your Raw Dog Monday night. And listen, I know it looks a little bit different than what you're used to. There's usually a white guy and a black guy at the same time, but usually it's Big Daddy C. And it's your host with the most, Coachman. But unfortunately, both of those guys are feeling under the weather, so we're able to fill in for them. Listen, this might as well be a Friday night show as far as I'm concerned. I got my man, the freakiest one, with me on a Monday night, and we recording. Oh my goodness, dude! Like the smile on my face of Fritos, I was like, yes. I'm like, yes, let's go. Anytime I get to pod with this human, he makes me so happy. That's right, guys. He is the freakiest one. He is your two-time Booker of the Year. He is the host of the Friday Night SmackDown, Lowdown, Hold Down, Throw Down, flip it around, break it down, all around town. All of that good jazz. And of course, he is one of my most favorite humans on the whole planet. He is the freakiest one, Freaky Fritos.
Well, hello, Virgil, and hello, ladies and gentlemen, my singles and tag team competitors. And guess what? Me and Virgil here, we're invading Monday Night Raw Dog. We're tired of being on the sidetrack on who's next on NXT with Tuesday, hosted by Virgil. And I'm tired of taking the main spotlight on Friday nights. Nah. I am claiming new territory and taking over Monday nights, baby.
Taking over, baby. That's right. And you never know when we're going to show up. You never know where we're coming from. But listen, Monday nights will never be the same again. That's right. Woo, I like it. I got Fritos fired up. He got me fired up, man. We're excited to do the show and to talk to you guys about a red hot Monday Night Raw. Listen, let me tell you guys, we've had a lot to say about Triple H's booking. This was one of the better Monday Night Raws in my mind. I think it had the star power, obviously, with Seth and Cody in the ring together. It also had the star power with, of course, the tribal chief, the OTC, returning to help the Usos win a tag team match and putting the jetpack on Jey Uso's back. Let them know this is your show. It's your time. Take it over. Which we'll get into all of that jazz in a minute. But Fritos, let us begin on the show, sir. So tonight, for the match, you had the Tornado Tag Team match, the Usos versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. You had the Intercontinental Championship match, Rusev versus Dominic Mysterio. You had Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez, and you had an appearance by Rhea Ripley. So the show started out with Rhea Ripley cutting a promo in the ring, seeking revenge after the tag that she and Io Sky suffered at the end of last week's Raw. Rhea Ripley took to the squared circle and she called out Asuka and Kairi Sane. Instead, the Genius of the Sky joined Mommy in the squared circle, clearly still heartbroken over the events. But Sky said that despite the beatdown, she loves her friends. The Kabuki Warriors appeared on video screen, and Asuka took credit for Sky's success before offering her a way back into the fold, an apology. The former women's world champion walked out on Rhea Ripley, refusing to stand up for herself. From behind, the heels attacked Rhea Ripley, picking up where they left off on last Monday. Then Io Sky rushed to the ring to make the save, but found herself on the receiving end of a poisonous blue mist that blinded her. And that blue mist that she has, it has to be 10 times worse than what Tajiri was spitting back in the day. Because if you looked at Rhea Ripley last week, she looked like what's the blue woman off of X-Men?
Oh, Mystique.
Yeah, she looked just like Mystique last week, bro. I just kept thinking about it. I'm like, oh my God, she looks just like her. Like, that's crazy. All she needs is the red hair. She would have looked just like her.
And then Smurf, but yeah, that works too.
Yeah, and then this week it was Io Sky on the receiving end of that blue mist. And yeah, man, it was nothing pretty. What'd you think about this opening segment, Fritos? What are your thoughts?
I think Triple H has taken a page from his own book with the storyline. I think we're getting semi version of the bloodline where Jay turned on Roman kind of. But they're
Okay.
redoing the script a bit. But we're basically Asuka's making sure that she stays in power and kind of keeping control of Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky.
Yeah.
So I know we've kind of been harsh on the Kabuki Warriors and Io with how they speak English and stuff. But
Sure.
I like how we don't really need words for this storyline.
Story right
Because we had later interactions with Kyrie and Io later on, then another interaction with Rhea and Io. So I'm curious what's going to happen later on with the storyline. Or is Io going to turn heel and go with Asuka and follow her? Almost just like the bloodline where Jay got his ass beat and went back under Roman's leash, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Or is Io going to break off, kind of just like how Jay did now, the past couple of years, and just go on his own and be that megastar. So it's really interesting, and I like the development going on with the story now. And I think that's definitely picked up going on now.
Absolutely. And the coolest part about this to me is the fact that it doesn't revolve around a championship. You actually have a women's story that has absolutely nothing to do with the women's championship. And above all, Rhea Ripley's in the story, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the women's world championship. Like, I love that. I love the fact that we're getting Rhea Ripley in just a good story. Like, give us a good story we can sink our teeth into, where she can really show her acting skills and she can really make us believe in the character of Rhea Ripley. And it's not just all about the world title is mine and I'm coming for it. Now, obviously, her and Stephanie Valkyrie got some things going on. And for the love of God, where the hell is Bianca Belair? Like, what happened? Like, what happened to her? Like, where did she go? Like, oh my goodness. Like, I mean, she haven't seen her in forever.
Is she injured or something? Because I mean, she was on NXT a couple of weeks ago, just in the crowd.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And no, and they cleared her from that injury. She got to be pregnant, or at least trying to get pregnant. One or the other. It has to be that she's either trying to get pregnant or is pregnant. One or the other. Because there's no other reason why she's been out this long and without a storyline. But it's also good, because how can we miss you if you never leave? Whenever she comes back, it's gonna be the biggest thing since sliced bread. But for right now, like I said, I think Stephanie Valkyrie could really use an opponent like her. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, back to this. I think it's interesting. I do think that Io Sky is going to break away from the Kabuki Warriors, and I think that she is going to pretty much side with Rhea. She told Rhea she could trust her. Now, the interesting thing would be, like, what if Rhea turned on her?
Ooh.
That would be interesting. That would be something that's a new layer to the story, where it ends up. Because remember, Rhea Ripley still has never beat Io Sky.
That's true.
So,
and right now, I feel like they're kind of heavy on faces right now. So it would make sense if you're trying to put the title back on Rhea, make her a heel, and if Liv comes back, make her a face.
Yeah, Liv has to be a baby face, especially since Raquel Rodriguez dipped on her and basically turned on her and is with Roxanne Perez now. So I am very, very interested in that storyline too, which honestly, she should be back by Royal Rumble, right?
They said 6 months. That was about 3 months ago. So I'm sure they're going to give her some little extra time, work out the rest ring. So yeah, hypothetically,
she's definitely winning the Royal Rumble, hands down. Calling that now, she's winning the Royal Rumble, which I wouldn't be mad about. At all. We'll just have to see what happens. But moving right along, we have the Intercontinental Championship match: Dominic Mysterio versus Rusev. Rusev defeated JD McDonough on this September 22nd episode of Monday Night Raw, and Dominic Mysterio defeated El Hijo de Vikingo to win the AAA Mega Championship at AAA and WWE Worlds Collide on September 12th. Those are the last respective matches these superstars have been in. Dom was ducking, he was dodging, but he could not run from Rusev, who finally got to challenge him for the Intercontinental Championship. And like I said, like in the weeks leading up to the match, Mysterio tried to avoid Rusev until the Ferocious Challenger caught him and slammed him into the commentary table. And then through the break, he controlled the pace until the champion created a bit of separation. As the underdog, Mysterio benefited from a red-hot crowd clearly behind him and his pursuit of a successful title defense. Rusev cut him down with the Machka kick, and the 2 count only infuriated him even more. Reeling after this, Mysterio tossed the IC title at Rusev and feigned the injury like Eddie Guerrero, but the referee caught him, and then the official got rid of the gold. Mysterio caught Rusev with an undetected low blow and then scored the roll-up victory pin for the 1-2-3. So I like it. I like it a lot. Dom Mysterio, bro, is over like none other. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, literally, he's a heel and he's doing heel tactics, but the fans just absolutely love Dom Mysterio. I remember 5-6 years ago, people hated Dom Mysterio, and now they absolutely cannot get enough of him. They love his character. They love what he's doing. They just love him all the way around.
They do, and I'm one of those fans. I would admit was not the biggest fan when Dom first came in, but he's grown on me, just like his mullet and mustache. If you can tell, I'm growing mine out.
There you go.
But I thought the match was fantastic. I hate how it's kind of Rusev early because I do want to see Rusev as your IC champion. But here's the deal. I've been thinking about it, seen rumors on X. What happens if Cena goes for the IC champion to finally be your Grand Slam? He could lose it to Dom again in one of the other events he has. But I think that this helps, set up for Dom. And also, it's a little bit too early to lose that double championship. You still got a lot more storyline going on with the Judgment Day, them eventually breaking up because they keep teasing it. But I think it'd be also a little bit more fire if he does lose the IC, then he wins it back, and he could go up to Ray, be like, I beat Johnny, and he destroyed you in that squash match for the championship. So I am the greatest Mysterio. So I think it could add more fire to that as well.
I like it. I think that Dom should potentially drop that IC championship to Cena. And I think that they should actually have somebody else debut from NXT and beat John Cena for that IC championship. Give either Trick Williams the rub through cheating, or give like put. There's an opportunity here to make some young stars really, really popular. You got the U.S. Open Challenge on SmackDown, and the more I thought about it, I love what you guys had to say about Obafemi becoming the next United States champion, demolishing Sami Zayn for the championship. I love calling up Trick Williams too, and allowing Trick Williams to beat John Cena. Either that or All Ego Ethan Page finally making his WWE debut, and Ethan Page comes in and on his first night beats John Cena for the IC championship. That would be storybook perfect. John Cena then, like I said, you give somebody else the rub. Ethan Page now gets to say he beat John Cena on his very first night in the company, and from there he won the IC championship. And on top of that, you got another star made. Now, what you do with Ethan Page after that, he can't fumble the bag like Austin Theory did a couple years ago. He can't fumble the win. If you beat John Cena, the next night you got to come out and you got to prove you the man. You got to hold your own in the ring as a heel, talking on the microphone and stuff like that. And obviously the pressure was too big for Theory, but at the same time, I think Ethan Page is a little bit more experienced in Theory and older and has been around a little bit longer.
Fair enough.
So we move on from that to hold on, sorry, I lost my place. So next up is Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Backstage, Lyra Valkyria was fed up with Bayley's recent actions toward her and what she deemed as mind games, and the role model that she could not have her back. She told the role model she couldn't have her back tonight. In the arena, we go back to the match, and Bayley is struggling early on against Raquel Rodriguez, the former tag team champion, overwhelming her with her size and her strength advantage. An attempted Hurricanrana by Bayley on the floor proved unsuccessful as the heel caught her and flung her into the guardrail to maintain control. Back from the commercial break, the babyface paid homage to the Hardy Boys with the twist of fate on the floor that sparked momentum. She delivered a swanton bomb a la Jeff for a 2 count as she continued to struggle with their personalities. Later, Perez interfered on behalf of Rodriguez, raking Bayley's eyes to break up a figure four. Rodriguez followed that with a taser drop for the victory. After the match, Perez unloaded on Bayley until Valkyria made the save. Valkyria struggled to make the decision to make the save or not. She didn't want to at first, but then she came out and she did it. She helped her. And then Bayley got up and was fired up and cleared them from the ring. And then she stood tall with her on again, off again friend to close out this segment. What did you think about the match?
Thought the match was fantastic. Raquel has improved a lot after taking that criticism from Kevin Nash. Ever since then, her style of wrestling, I've loved it more. I'm starting to become more of a fan of Raquel. The interference from Roxanne, you're going to get that from the heel tag teams and all that.
Absolutely.
And I'm just getting more interested in the Bayley storyline because I feel like we're almost going to get like a Mick Foley-esque character in a way.
Mankind.
Mankind. Where, you know what I'm saying? Where
three faces of Foley. I get you.
Yeah, where we're going to get different characters of Bayley. We're going to get the hugger eventually at some point. We're going to get the heel from her. And I don't even know what we're going to call this new psychotic character we're going to call Bayley. But I can see something if they're going to do this. Bayley is the perfect one to do it since she's played different characters along the way. And it would be fantastic.
I like it. Yeah, you got role model Bayley. Now, here's what they should do. This is just an aside. I think it would be hilarious if Bayley is backstage one day and she's talking to Lyra and she kind of plays the R-Truth role on her and she pulls out a pink wig and like gear that looks like Sasha Banks gear.
Oh,
and like she tries to get her to pretend like, come on, you know we're the role models. Why aren't you wearing your gear like you're supposed to? Like, girl, put your pink hair on. Come on, let me help you out. And like she like puts her on like and like she gives her like the rings, like the boss rings.
Oh my God.
Dude, that would be hilarious. Obviously, she would have to get Sasha's approval first for that because, like I said, they're still best friends. But like playing that trick on her, like doing that, dude, it would cause a big pop for the fans. It'd be hilarious, and it would just infuriate Lyra even more. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I'm not Sasha Banks. Or not like come on, you're the CEO. You know what time it is. Come on, it's Banks time. Like, just like playing into it, but like not saying that, not calling her Sasha. Like, just kind of playing into the role. I think that would be hilarious.
Oh, I would love every second of it. It'd be fun. Yeah. You know, the pop would be amazing too, or just the crowd laughing.
Absolutely. Backstage, there was a confrontation in Adam Pearce's office between Kofi Kingston and LA Knight that led to a match later on in the show between them also. LA Knight is on the hunt for a world championship match. He let Adam Pearce know he wants the World Heavyweight Championship title shot after Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia, which would put him potentially facing Seth at Survivor Series or either Saturday night's main event for that championship, which either way would be good. Probably not gonna win it though. I mean, I just can't see it where he's winning unless somebody like Roman costs him the belt. Even if Seth ends up winning it back really quick, just the shock value and the fact that LA could say I was a world heavyweight champion, I think would be huge for him. And he can continue on with Jey Uso. You can even have Jey Uso be the one that cost him the strap. I mean, like I said, so then that way you have those two going back and forth. You start the blood feud between those two where they fight like they're fighting, scraping to see who's next in line. Treat them like Triple H and The Rock, while Undertaker and Steve Austin were on top. So like you had like you knew Steve Austin was the man. Undertaker was his main adversary because he was a part of the Ministry of Darkness and the corporate ministry, and he's fighting tooth and nail with Stone Cold. But then you have the undercard of, okay, who's next? You got babyface Rock, heel Triple H, and they're fighting to see who's going to be the next to challenge whomever one of those two. And I liken this to that. I think you have something with Jey Uso being a heel and having a chip on his shoulder, and you see his heel tendencies beginning to come out. Like the Yeet stuff ain't gonna be around for much longer. He's finna show you a real dark side of him that he's gonna do some real dastardly stuff. But it's to be on top. It's because his family has to be on top, and he feels the pressure he's succumbing to the pressure of being the guy, you know?
Mm-hmm. I like that idea. I mean, this is definitely just building more momentum for the match for LA Knight. I like the idea of of Seth losing the title at Saturday Night Main Event due to some interference. I think that would add some hype because we've all kind of complained about Saturday Night Main Event. It's just an extension of
House show,
the
yeah.
regular show or a house show. I mean, except for the first one where we got the inaugural U.S. Women's Championship, but we haven't had a title change there. I think this would cause some riffles, and it would be good riffles, if you will.
Agreed.
And then we could do stuff with the Vision, Seth, and Survivor Series with Cody and continue that storyline, and potentially John and other people, which I'm sure I'll talk about later on with how I think the setup's going to be after the main event. But then Jay's reign of terror, I'm going to say, the new tribal chief, since we still got Solo trying to be the tribal chief out there. So I think that could be interesting as well with LA and Jay, since they've got this feud that they're building up to. And I think this could be your next new Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Rock, essentially. I can see them pay homage to it, since they've made comparisons to him to LA Knight. So I think it'd be something fun for the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. So LA Knight versus Kofi Kingston is the next up on the card. Kingston gained the upper hand entering the break and sustained it for pretty much most of the match, thanks in part to cheap shots from his tag team partner, Xavier Woods. You had Wade Barrett on commentary bemoaning the fact that Big G, as in Grayson Waller, was not available after what he went through with Penta in the week before. Knight, though resilient throughout the match and gutsy, stayed in the fight long enough to dodge a trouble in paradise and drop Kingston out of nowhere with the BFT, blunt force trauma, for the pinfall victory. Nice victory for LA Knight, especially coming off losing to Jay. You want to get him back out there as soon as possible and keep having him win because you don't want to lose his momentum. I'll tell you what, dude. It don't matter how much LA Knight loses. Every single time that crowd hears L.A., I mean, it just erupts. And, like, it's not piped in sound either. It's legit the crowd. Like, you could tell, like, everybody just gets hyped for L.A. Knight. The music, the undeniable Kavorka, I mean, it's all there. I mean, he just oozes this charisma with him. Can't wait to see what him and Ricky Starks look like opposite each other, because the one day that's going to be something to see, too.
That's money right there. You're just printing an endless paycheck, if you will.
Absolutely. Any thoughts on this match with him and Kingston?
Like I said, this is a good momentum builder for LA Knight post, going into Crown Jewel. And like I said, hopefully this leads into that match at Saturday Night Main Event. And I think hopefully they shock the world and put the title on LA Knight. He's been wanting a title, and Triple H keeps saying, be patient, be patient. I think you finally need to pull the trigger and change some stories up.
Yeah, absolutely. So next up, we had the confrontation of the night, the biggest moment of the night. You have Cody Rhodes going face to face with none other than Seth freaking Rollins. The World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins is seen backstage after his wife pummels. Gosh, what's her name?
I was coming back from the bathroom at that point, unintentional bathroom break. Was it Maxine?
Yes, Maxine Dupree. Thank you so much. Yeah, Becky Lynch pummeled Maxine Dupree and beat up Tozawa in the back. And after she takes care of them, the camera pans over and her husband is sitting there looking at her. And he's like, "You feel better now?" She's like, "Yeah, I do feel better." He's like, "Good." He's like, "All right." So, and then he's like, "I'm headed to the ring." And she's like, "You wanted me to come with you?" He's like, "No, I got to do this by myself." Love that moment. Love the interaction between them two. Love the fact that he told her, "No, I need to do this by myself." Certain things. So the whole thing with Punk, which I know they're not done with that yet. They're just giving Punk some time off. He's probably still around, just backstage or whatnot. But they're taking a break from them and AJ. But
he's at the Cubs baseball game. He was there this past Saturday night.
What a stud. I love CM Punk.
I was supposed to go to that game. I'm a little upset I didn't go.
Be glad you didn't go. The Cardinals got their ass whooped.
I know, but still, I wouldn't care if I saw Punk.
That's true. So yeah, CM Punk is CM Punk could be the one to cost him the World Heavyweight Championship against LA Knight.
Ooh, I like it.
Fans gonna bitch about it though, because I'm like, oh my god, once again it's gonna be Punk versus such and such. But like then you can immediately like trade CM Punk and AJ Lee to SmackDown. Because I really, above all, I want to see CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship in Vegas at Mania. The story writes itself. Like I like all this other stuff. You gotta let Punk be the one to beat Cody for the WWE title at Mania. If he ain't gonna beat Rollins, if you're gonna do Tribal Chief versus Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, then I just see within myself that you gotta do CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. The story writes itself. It just makes sense.
They teased it last year or this year.
Right. That's what I'm saying with the whole Royal Rumble and everything. I'm just like, dude, like, Anyways, so the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins hits the ring to discuss this upcoming Crown Jewel Championship match against the undisputed champion Cody Rhodes on October 11th. He took exception to the fans choosing Rhodes over him, drawing out the American Nightmare, who then came out. His music still gets the biggest pop of the night, always. Wrestling has more than one royal family. Do you know that he cut that in a bathroom on a Apple laptop
While taking a poop?
Yeah,
good for him.
They won royal family. That's why it sounds like that. It's like got the echo and stuff. That's hilarious. But yeah. So Rhodes countered his future of the industry conversation by reminding the visionary that the fans are the only ones who control the future of professional wrestling. Then Cody hinted that Paul Heyman has control over Rollins' heel faction, to which Rollins insisted that every decision runs through him, and he brought up Brock Lesnar in that. And then Rhodes went on to reference WrestleMania 40 and how Rollins extended his hand to him, how he thought they were friends, and then the architect told him to shut up. He said he revealed to Rhodes that he was a means to an end, and that at Crown Jewel, he will finally beat him. So what did you think of this segment all in all?
Beautiful. It's definitely hyping up Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, this is also hyping up Survivor Series for
Okay.
actually a War Game match.
Okay.
Because they keep teasing this Brock Lesnar being involved in this storyline.
Okay.
And I think this is going to be the ultimate payoff for it. Because we still got Cena with his last loss. I think you could somehow include Cena into War Games. He's never done a War Games, correct?
Yep.
So I think his last Survivor Series, instead of doing a one-on-one match or whatever, you include him in that War Games, because you know that's going to print money. If you have him, Cody, maybe Roman, maybe Punk, maybe someone else involved in that team after that. So this is definitely hyping me up for this match. I think this match it's going to be the main match that everyone's going to be talking about tonight. I know we got Tiffany and Stephanie. They haven't really developed the rest of the card yet, but this is going to be the match that everyone.
You got Cena, AJ Styles too.
Yep, and Cena and AJ. But people are going to be glued to that one. But I think this one here, just how they're going deep in storytelling.
Yeah,
everything else hasn't really been deep in storytelling. This one's got 3 to 4 years of history involved in it.
Sure.
Because they brought back, talking about how Cody came back from WrestleMania and all that, and the multiple WrestleManias, and just including everything. So this is great storytelling that they've been lacking for a while.
Absolutely. And the story here, it's as good as the OTC versus the Visionary story. It's just as good. The QB1 versus the Visionary story is just as good. That storyline makes just as much sense. It's so much history there, so much time built up, and the fact that Seth Rollins will get the win at Crown Jewel. I mean, without a doubt, he has to beat Cody in order to officially stabilize his group, in order to officially make him who he's supposed to be. He has to beat Cody Rhodes. He has to get that ring. He has to hold up that title. It just makes sense. It looks like all roads lead to that, pun intended. And good for him. Good for Seth, like I said. But he's got some bigger fish to fry than that. And I think that I do think that we might get LA Knight going after that world championship, and they might actually let him win it. I mean, I don't expect a long title reign, but I do expect him probably to hold that title for maybe he'll defend it 2 times, maybe, and then lose it and then drop it back to Seth. Like I said, but either way, it's fine. Seth doesn't have to keep the World Heavyweight Championship. You did it to screw CM Punk to keep that storyline strong. So, like I said, it's okay if you do LA Knight versus Jey Uso, a heel Jey Uso, where he gets his win back against Jey because he just lost to Jey a couple of weeks ago. And then, like I said, and then after that, Jey ends up costing him the title against Seth freaking Rollins, and then you go on with that storyline from there.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes sense to do it that way. Moving right along, we got AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Los Americanos. AJ Styles came out to the ring first to a nice pop from the crowd. Thanked the fans, took the mic and thanked the fans for them giving him a match at Crown Jewel against one John Cena. Thank you to the fans for listening. We were some of the fans that were also screaming the same thing. We want to see Styles versus Cena one more time. If this is going to be a celebration of John Cena, why not run his greatest hits back? Like I said, I get giving the rub to the young guys, especially in his last match, but let him accomplish some things he's never accomplished before. We wasted half of Cena's year, which really, you should let Cena run it out till next year's Mania and retire at next year's Mania. Because you fucked us over with half a year of bullshit because The Rock and Travis Scott couldn't correlate their schedules to be a part of an actual faction that's supposed to be taking over WWE. So you left John Cena high and dry, and he did the best he could by himself with it, but he's a face. He's a natural born baby face, and the fans know he's leaving, and they want him to go out as a baby face.
I will admit, though, we did get that Randy Cena match, which I did see live. I would say seeing that is probably the cherry on top of that whole run of his heel.
The only thing that could make it better would be Edge. The only thing that could make it better would have been Edge. And obviously we know now we're not getting Edge coming back to WWE, not even just for one match to fight Cena. But yeah, so after that, Dragon Lee discussed his upcoming AAA Grand Championship match against Dominic Mysterio, while AJ Styles hyped his Crown Jewel bout against John Cena, promising to do his favorite thing on October 11th. 1, 2, 3. Beat up John Cena. The Los Americanos made their official in-ring debut as Rayo and Bravo battled the Phenomenal One and Lee in tag team action. The heels controlled the action throughout the break, isolating Lee until a hot tag to Styles sparked the late babyface comeback. Styles set up for the phenomenal forearm, but El Grande Americano interfered on behalf of his teammates and pulled them to the back apron. The babyface laid out the lead luchador and delivered his trademark springboard finisher and put Bravo away with the Styles clash. So yeah. Who's the third one? Okay, so we know it's Chad Gable. We know it's we know the lead Americano
It's Ludwig.
Is Ludwig Kaiser. Who's that third guy?
Since Chad's still not back, he's not medically cleared.
So who are these other two dudes that are wrestling with him?
Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne.
Shut up, for real?
Which with the old mask that they had on, you kind of see it in there because they still had their scrubble. And so it was, you're able to tell as fans. I could tell a little bit, but with these new like classic luchador mask,
it's covering everything. It's
covering everything, so it's hiding their face better. So it honestly threw me off for a bit. But it should be Tyler and Pete Dunne, which I love the American El Grande Americano stuff. I'm glad they're kind of fleshing it out with the Spider-Verse or the Americano-verse, if you will, and just giving them new names and just new characters for it.
Yep.
But the fact that you have a talent like Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne and Ludwig doing this, I feel like they need a little bit more respect, even though apparently Mexico loves Ludwig and this gimmick. So I say keep writing it out as much as if they're getting to pay for it. But as a talent-wise, it kind of sucks a bit, I feel.
Ludwig went from being Gunther's lackey to now having his own group. I can't complain about this.
That's fair too.
I can't complain about this. It gives him something to do. It gives him a character. It gives him a feud. It gives him something to do. And not only is he making money, printing American money, he's also working in AAA. I mean, to go from losing Tiffany Stratton to you know what I'm saying, Gunther kicking you to the curb.
Time out. Rewind that. They broke up?
Yeah, bro, they've been broke up.
I didn't know that.
She broke up with him. That stuff with Charlotte, where she was talking about Ludwig being in her DMs, that was real.
Sorry, Gabrielle. What's up?
You just got married. Put that damn ring back on.
It's going back on. It was a joke. It was a gag.
He got married, y'all, in the spot, the home of WrestleMania 41 and 42, Las Vegas, Nevada. But yeah, so losing all of that to then getting this gimmick has totally been a career resurgence for him, and credit Triple H for not giving up on him. Usually, when a talent like a la Ideolo, Andrade loses somebody that's a crown jewel with WWE, like Tiffany Stratton is WWE to the core. She will always be WWE. She will leave. She will go do other things. She might end up in movies, all this other stuff, but she will always, forever and ever be a WWE superstar. Because she was born here, bred here, NXT all the way up, just like Charlotte Flair. Usually the guy, when he loses stuff like that, I mean, even Giovanni, you know, like I said, lost his way because he tried hitting on Tiffany Stratton, and he ended up losing his whole spot in the company and being kicked out the company altogether. But for them to see something in Ludwig and keep him around, and for him to then make good on that by making this this Americano work, like get this gimmick work. I mean, it just kudos to him, man. Kudos to him to being able to take whatever WWE gives you and make it something, you know. So now it's time for our main event of the night, y'all. We're going long here on this episode, but Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus the Usos. The never-ending rivalry between the Usos and the Vision wrote its latest chapter in the main event of Monday's show. In a tornado tag team match, Jimmy and Jay were the aggressors to start, wiping the heels out to the floor and taking the fight to them in the opening seconds. But then Breaker and Reed, though, recovered and downed the twins, with Braun delivering a spear to Jimmy through the announce table, entering into the commercial break. The villains beat down Jay, using their numbers advantage to punish the former world champion until Jimmy recovered enough to make the save. Still, the dominant heels downed them and stacked them, preparing for the win, when none other than Roman Reigns' music played and the Tribal Chief made their shocking return. The OTC unloaded on Breaker and Reed with the steel chair, setting the Usos up to deliver a double team splash for the win. After the match, the Bloodline beat down the heels before Reigns told Uso the show is his to run and rule, all while Jimmy looked on hesitantly, unsure in the background. The most uncomfortable look I've ever seen on Jimmy Uso's face. He just looked like, oh, no, what are you doing, Roman? No, what are you telling this man? And I mean, like I said, Roman's really putting the charge in the back of one Jey Uso. You could very well see. I see. Here's my issue. Here's my issue, Fritos. Here's where I struggle booking, because you could absolutely have Roman Reigns win the Elimination Chamber and choose Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, and you could run them two back. You could also do Cody versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns in a triple threat for the WWE Championship. And I wouldn't hate that match either.
I wouldn't hate it, but it'd be almost the same thing as last Mania with the
Right.
triple threat involving Roman and CM Punk. That's the only downside of that.
Okay, there's nowhere in the world, unless it's either Gunther or Obafemi, because one of them is going. So Gunther's going to face Obafemi, and Brock. Well, no. So you might get Gunther versus Brock at Mania, Oba versus Oba versus OTC at Mania.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I like that. I did that.
Like I said, and you got the Vision winning the tag titles. Braun and Braun finally winning the world tag titles at Mania. So that gives them something to do. Seth's obviously going to fight for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
But you have those attraction matches, which makes perfect sense. It just, like I said, because Brock is an attraction, and he likes to go on. He likes to jerk, curtain jerk or whatnot. Nowadays, he likes to go on first. We can hop on his private jet and get the F up out of there, so ain't nobody got to talk to him, you know. And like I said, and Roman doesn't want to necessarily be the face anymore, and you can always go back to Roman Cody, but I don't know.
But then again, let's say they put the title back on Roman, then we're back to square one where we get a champion that's barely there defending or being on TV. And there's no one, and he doesn't have really anyone in his corner to talk to for him like we had Paul for the longest time when he was gone.
It's true. That part to me always befuddles me. But Roman don't necessarily need Paul. And the problem is, what is Roman Reigns? There's so many question marks between superstars right now. Like, we don't know who necessarily is a heel and who's a babyface. Like,
yeah,
it's okay to have Brock Lesnar say, I'm just an ass kicker. I'm not a heel, I'm not a babyface, I'm an ass kicker. But you gotta start differentiating by some of these other guys. Like, we know Seth Rollins is a heel. We know Cody Rhodes is a babyface. We know CM Punk is a babyface. We know Jey Uso is probably turning heel. Which, honestly, them two fighting each other at Mania wouldn't be a bad match. CM Punk versus Jey Uso?
Nah.
I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all. I don't know. And here's my other issue. You got to start making way for some of these younger guys, too. Like, Punk still needs to win a Royal Rumble. At least one Royal Rumble before he retires. But Braun Breaker ain't going to keep waiting much longer. Nah, Jacob Fatu ain't going to keep waiting much longer either. Like, these guys are ready to take that next step to be the faces of the company. And that match in itself, y'all, if y'all don't know what that means, Fritos is printing money with his hands, because that match right there just prints money. That interaction between them two on SmackDown, back when Jacob was still with Solo, but he was United States champion, and him and Braun just sitting there looking at each other like they know this is all theirs. This is all gonna be theirs. Jacob's older than Braun, but it's still gonna be all theirs. And when those two collide finally, like, oh God. Finna have orgasm just thinking about it. I'm sorry, y'all. It's tough.
But like I said earlier, I think this match might be a setup for Crown Jewel.
Okay.
Just to set up Survivor Series, because I can see this be a three-man tag team match or six-man tag team match. The OG Bloodline versus the Vision, and Paul pulling the trigger and making that call to Brock. If Brock decides to, fly down to Australia for a bit, who knows? I don't know how he feels on international travel like that, but that itself would be the perfect setup for Survivor Series, like I said, because you can include Roman in that. He's got beef with both Brock and Seth. Then you can include whoever else essentially in that. You still got Cody, depending on how the Crown Jewel match ends. You still got Punk, who hates Seth. I'm sure he's not a fan of Brock, and Brock being back, them in that ring is going to be a crazy pop in War Games. So you essentially have a huge potential War Games match with the men if they just kind of force Brock to do certain things.
It's true. You got to force him, though. Got to force Brock to do it. Well, folks, we ran over, but this was such a great episode. I had so much fun with Fritos talking about Monday Night Raw, and the possibilities are endless. We hope that you guys enjoyed this Raw Dog Monday Night episode. Thank you, Fritos, for joining me on this episode. And who knows, folks, we might just pop back in next week. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, like I said, do a superstar shuffle and take over the Raw Dog Monday Night and force them other dudes to do something else. Maybe make them do TNA or something. But yeah, from Fritos, from Virgil, appreciate you folks. Until next time, keep those bucket pistols sharp and keep on